probably couldn't hear anything I was saying. I don't know for sure, but this mic that's just off screen uses phantom power, which means you have to run power back to the cable to make the mic work. I don't think I was doing that. Now I am doing that. So, start over. Hey everybody, Kyle the Drink Pro here with you yet again. Thank you so much for watching this stream and joining me tonight. It's a lovely Thursday. It's a very exciting Thursday for a couple of different reasons that I will get into in the near future. But first I want to start by explaining what we're doing tonight. Nate can hear me, that's good to know. Tonight I am drinking 6 pours blind. I've got 1 through 6 here with little numbers on them. But I think the important thing to note is that these are 5 different versions, and then we have the answer key right here. Yolanda's is top secret. We have 5 different versions of Old Fitzgerald decanters. We've got the 8-year, the most recent release that I did a video on Tuesday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We have the 9-year. We have the 13-year, the 14-year, and the 16-year. So 5 different versions. But I have 6 pours. The 6th pour... Oh, not that one. The 6th pour is this. E.H. Taylor single barrel bourbon, not the rye. But it is the Big Red Liquors store pick. Warehouse H. Rick 2 barrel 38. Now I'm pretty partial to that particular barrel because I helped pick it. I was very lucky to get a chance to go down and check out that barrel. Matter of fact, I know the person who couldn't go, whose place I ended up taking, so I was very happy that that spot opened up. Sometimes you just got to get lucky. Shout out to Matt with Big Red Liquors for giving me that opportunity. It was a lot of fun, but it's going to be going up against a series of Old Fitzgerald blind because I want to really express to you guys how the mash bill affects a whiskey versus the age. All of the other whiskeys in here are the same mash bill. They're from the same brand lineup. They're just different ages. 8, 9, 11, whatever. What do I actually have? 8, 9. Mike McAllister's in the chat. Joe Brown's in the chat. What's up, boys? Yeah, I have 8, 9, 13, 14, 16. Those are the 5 years of Old Fitz. I don't remember how old that barrel was, but I think it's on the younger side of what we're talking about tonight. Like maybe 7, maybe 8. So, this is going to be a real test of how much of a difference the mash bill makes. Can I spot the Taylor, basically, versus the age statement on the Old Fitz decanters. So, should be a fun night. Also, I'll go ahead and put this out here. News. The Drink Pro channel will continue on YouTube. It will continue on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not very active on Twitter, but I guess it'll continue on Twitter, kind of. But it may look a little bit different than it does right now because I'm hoping to be moving into a new house in July. My partner Yolanda and I had an offer accepted on purchasing our first home together. We're not going to jump the gun. I'm not going to say it's done because it's not done until the closing has happened. But I'm really excited. So it's got a really nice basement space, which will definitely become the new Drink Pro headquarters. And if you're able to make it down or into the area, especially if you're a member of the Patreon, then you'll get a chance to check out that cool basement. So go ahead and join up. Yeah, that was a shameless plug, and I'm going to keep doing them. I can't help myself. So it's going to be a good time. Mike McAllister is on his way to Cocoa Beach Saturday. That sounds nice. Okay, I'm going to clear my throat a little bit. Got a little bit of acid, I think. Oh, yeah. So what other news do I have? Before I forget... No, I'll say that later. It is still E.H. Taylor month. I know I haven't done a lot of Taylor reviews. I intend to. They're coming. But the real reason I wanted to call this E.H. Taylor month at all was because I've got some really freaking cool E.H. Taylor samples, and I was trying to figure out a time to do a tasting with them, and they found out that they just announced that the newest super limited edition E.H. Taylor, the Warehouse C, was coming out in June. So keep your eye out on the shelves for that. I don't know when they do the new barrel proofs. I know I have the last 2 barrel proofs, which I think are 9 and 10 or 8 and 9. I don't remember. But I think it's 9 and 10. But if you get your hands on the newest barrel proof, hit me up. I'd love to have an ounce of it to do a video with. If you get the newest Warehouse C or the old Warehouse C Tornado Survivor, hit me up. I'd love to have an ounce of it to do a video with. It'd be a lot of fun, guys. I think it's going to be a good time. So I'll be doing some other Taylor reviews in the near future. Man. You know what it was? I ate lasagna for dinner, and I think that the tomato sauce really gets the stomach acid all worked up. Oh. How? The hell? Joe Brown, the Total Wines and More in Vieira has a nice selection. Pretty close to Cocoa Beach. I love it. Sharing tips on where to go. I love hearing that. Well, I think I better do a warm-up pour before I get into this tasting. As you know, it's sort of become tradition around here that my warm-up pours are the Indiana Gold from West Fork. Definitely not my favorite West Fork release. They make a lot of fun stuff. Old Hamer, Hugh Hamer, they're West Fork, but they're sourced their own distillate, B Street Blues from West Fork. I really like. This one-off release, not my favorite. But I bought it, so I'm going to drink it. It's really a good way to cleanse the palate. It's got a lot of classic bourbon notes, even though it's corn whiskey. And you can really taste that bitter grain on the finish. And that's really why I didn't care for that pour. You know, it's got a really nice sweet front, but the finish is not ideal. Yeah, Nate, I think that sounds like a good idea, my friend. I think we're going to hit up. I might bring some samples and pay too much money and see if I can't grab a couple things for videos from Opa. Grab a couple little bottles. Well, I feel primed and ready. Let's dig into these pours. I'm actually going to move them a little bit. Right now, I'll get the keyboard on the table. By the way, if you guys know of a good ergonomic keyboard, this one is kind of on its last leg. So, shoot me a private message, a direct message. Let me know if you know of a good private or a good ergonomic keyboard, because I really value the ergonomic setup. My hands hurt a lot. Trying to avoid getting claws. So, anyway, let's get into tasting. Oh boy, guys, buying a house is a hell of a task. We've seen a lot of homes. We've put down a couple offers. We finally got somebody to accept one. It's a crazy market right now, but I did some math, and the reason we decided to keep going with it was honestly because the interest rates are so low. What I could get was low enough that I figured even if I feel the house is overpriced, it made sense if I assumed we were going to pay the rest of the mortgage, because it was just, even after a couple of years, even like 5 or 10 years in that home, it was going to be a better value to buy more expensive with a lower interest rate. I know you don't come here for financial advice. You damn sure shouldn't. Go talk to Nate, not me. I'm not a financial advisor. But just one drinking man's opinion. Let's get into this. Let's go to number 1. I'm just going to smell them all first real quick. Bam, 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 bam. And I'll see if I can't split them up into categories. Again, for people that are just joining, I've got Old Fitzgerald 8, 9, 13, 14, 16, and an E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick that I helped pick. So it's Find the E.H. Taylor tonight on the Drink Pro Live. Gonna smell all 6, and we'll see what I think. Ooh. Okay. By the way, if I'm doing this, sign language 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 6 in American Sign Language. It's a way to give the number 6 without 2 hands. Oh, and this, if you do this, I think that's 16. And then, is it 11, 12, 13? I don't remember it very well. All right. Well, very interesting first nosing because number 1 was super duper sweet. It was by far the sweetest. I would be surprised if 1 was not the single barrel because I remember that being on the sweeter side, very caramel forward. But 2 is very light and grain forward, which makes me think it's younger. Makes me think it's the 9 or the 8 year, to be honest. And 3 isn't that far away. Now 4 gives me a real peanutty note. And that was something I kind of noticed on the 8. But it could be maybe 13 or 14. I don't know. I've never tried the 16. The 16 I'm trying for the first time tonight. Oh, but number 5 hits really nice too. Number 5 is sort of in the sweet spot for me. It's so sweet and caramel and citrus. Honestly, after going back to number 1 and comparing it against number 5, number 1 is a lot more butterscotch. Like butterscotch and toffee. And number 5 is a lot sharper. It smells higher proof. All these are 100 proof. All these are bottle and bond. Again, in honor of E.H. Taylor. Yeah, 5 is gorgeous. 6 smells like if you ever bought a bag of like commercial peanuts and then some of them smell like they're over roasted, that's what number 6 smells like. But once again, I'm being constantly reminded as I do this thing, I'm being constantly reminded that it's a lot easier to say you're gonna guess what's what in a blind and actually do it. It can be really difficult. So let's dig in some more on number 1. I'll give a lot more notes on the nose, and I'll taste it and give some flavor notes. Yeah, the thing. So as soon as I first smelled 1, I was thinking it was the single barrel E.H. Taylor. What's up, Tony? Tony's in the chat. Tony, by the way, I will say Tony provided the 8-year sample for the video, which if you haven't watched, go watch it. But he also provided the 16-year sample, which is the oldest whiskey in the flight tonight. Again, we've got the 8-year, the 9-year, the 13-year, the 14-year, the 16-year Old Fitz Decanters, and then the E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick. 2 middle fingers up. What's up, man? I mean, this thing... Wow. Yeah, when I did it that way... Okay, so my first thoughts, because of the sweetness and the caramel notes, I was leaning towards the Taylor, but when I open my mouth and breathe through my nose, which actually is a good technique to sort of bring in and have flow through more of the smell chemicals, I really am picking up more of this almost breadiness. And Appreciate it, my man. Thank you. Yeah, congrats on the new pad. I'm really excited to get this thing fucking closed. It's been a hell of a journey, so I don't want anything to go wrong now. I'm dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's. But yeah, with my mouth closed, this thing is like sharp, citrus, honey. But when I open my mouth a little bit, that citrus becomes more distinctly lemon. There's a more distinct breadiness in this now, but it might be rye bread. That's the other component here. Is I believe that the single barrel E.H. Taylor we picked was off. It was not the standard mash bill, so it would have been a higher rye mash bill. And obviously the old Fitz's are using wheat, so I would expect a wheaty grain. And to me, I think this kind of smells like a rye grain. 2 middle fingers up. I am drinking 5 Old Fitz decanters and 1 E.H. Taylor single barrel. We're playing find the E.H. Taylor among all of the fucking Old Fitz decanters. It sounds like it should be easy, but I'm about to show you it's not, probably. The 5 Old Fitz decanters I've got are the 8-year, 9-year, 13-year, 14-year, and 16-year. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, shit. I've got these coins. Shout out to I Drink and I Know Things whiskey group. They were making... Oh, shit. Uh-oh. I'm breaking stuff over here, guys. They made these challenge coins, and they're perfect for covering the tops of glasses. And that could be really valuable here because trapping some of those, some of that ethanol that's running off of the edge is really helpful. It gives you more captured chemicals, basically, that you can smell and pick out. Yeah, 2 middle fingers up. E.H. Taylor should stick out easy. It should. On the first nosing through, there were 2 or 3. No, there were 2. There was number 1 and number 5 really seemed like they could be the E.H. Taylor. We'll see. It didn't stick out as much as I thought it would actually at first. All right, the more I keep smelling this, the more it becomes almost oaky. Let's go ahead and taste it. I think taste is where I'm going to really be able to tell where the E.H. Taylor is. There's no way. I mean, I'd be shocked. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I might eat my words, but that's very oaky. Very oaky. That might be the 16. I mean, but it's so beautifully sweet, and it's one of those things, a lot of these pours get deceiving on the nose. James says, congrats on the house. I like to think it was the 2317 that got you over the finish line. Well, I'm not going to burst your bubble, James. I'll tell you, that got me over the finish line. I can't access that money from my home because it's through my company, but we'll say it is. The H. Taylor is my favorite lineup of bourbon. The Old Fitz lineup is good but different. I think that's a fair assessment. I've got a serious fucking E.H. Taylor lineup that I'm going to do a video of near the end of June. I'm kind of making June my E.H. Taylor month because they're releasing the new Warehouse C Super Limited Edition Taylor this month. So keep your eyes out for it. I don't have any pours of it. I'd love to get one, but, we'll do what we can. But while I'm thinking about it, I'll go ahead and shout out. This is what I do not yet have. I'll just tell you what I've got first. So I've got, obviously, the E.H. Taylor small batch, the single barrel, the store pick single barrel, a rye, and then I've got the 2019 and the 2020 barrel proof. I've also got samples of the Amaranth Grain of the Gods, the Cured Oak, and the 4-grain. So the in search of what I need to complete the entire vertical of E.H. Taylor, which I don't think is going to happen by the end of June, but you can be hopeful. What I'd need to finish that is an old-fashioned sour mash, the Warehouse C Tornado Survivor, and the new Warehouse C. the seasoned wood, the 18-year marriage, and barrel proofs 1 through 7 and 10 if it comes out before this video. So obviously there's a lot of things I don't have, but there's a lot of cool things I do have, and I was getting sick of waiting to do this video. I got several of these samples a long time ago, to be honest, but I've been sitting on them trying to find these other E.H. Taylors, and I decided, you know what, fuck it. I want to taste these. I'm going to taste these, and if I can find somebody just by throwing it out on my channel a whole bunch of times that has some of these others, then that's great. If I can't, that's fine. Okay, let's taste number 1 once more. I'm going to try to guess what these are, and then I'll reevaluate as I go. I mean, the nose is beautiful. It's a beautiful nose. Very sweet, very soft, smooth. Oh, and see, you know what? The first time I tasted it, I just got this oak bomb. And now, I'm not getting hardly any oak. I'll taste it again here. There it is. There it is. There's that black pepper and that dry, powerful oak. Akeem the Dream is in the chat. What's poppin', Mr. Big? How you living, Akeem? Two middle fingers up. Been in the bourbon business for 21 years. I'm sure you've tried a lot of crazy stuff, my man. That's pretty cool. I would love to do it myself. I have not been in the bourbon business 21 years. I've been in the whiskey tube world for a year. Started in February of 2020. That's when I put out my first video. Started my company in September 2020. Obviously. All right. I'm going to say... God, I'm going to be so wrong. It's going to be embarrassing. I'm going to say 1... I'm going to guess right now it's the 16. It could be the 14, but the 14 is my bottle, and I don't remember it being that oaky. And I picked the E.H. Taylor. I know it's not that oaky. So, I'm going to say number 1 is the Old Fitz 16. And by the way, if you're just joining us, here's what I got lined up. I got 6 blind pours. We're playing Find the E.H. Taylor single barrel. I've got Old Fitz Decanter, 8-year, 9-year, 13-year, 14-year, and 16-year. Then E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick. Akeem, being dumb as always. New spring brand, local barley just arrived. I'm hyped, picking it up tomorrow. Hell yeah, brother. Go get it. I got to come up and visit Akeem because he's got some sweet goods for me. I want to try that shit, man. I'm sad I couldn't go try something special with him not too long ago, but shit's about to ramp up for me, so we'll have to find a time. Trevor is popping in to say, hey, he's at work. We'll be back in when he got home. Life of a farmer, man. They work like a motherfucker. He's always working. He's always working. Oh, yeah. Number 2. That's a young one. And I don't say that in a bad way. I like younger whiskeys. I like grain-forward whiskeys. It's just so bright and sharp and shiny. Like, this smells like you overworked a cotton candy machine. It doesn't smell like cotton candy, but it smells like burnt sugar caramel. Or like maybe more burnt than caramel, like particularly burnt sugar. And then it's got this almost like steel metallic shininess. Like it kind of smells like a still. And for some reason, I like it. It's because it's so sweet. It's got that kind of sharpness and brightness, but it's still very, very sweet on the nose. So you get this beautiful, almost sickly sweet, like, it's corn syrup. There's corn syrup on the nose. It's corn syrup. It's lemon zest. Oh, hasn't been a while. It's been a while since I got a good sneeze on the show. If I ever sneeze on a stream, or in a video for that matter, and leave it in the edit, then that means you know I really was shoving my face down in that whiskey. I actually really like this nose. I'm gonna start shaving my head. I trimmed my head right before I came on, and you can still see hair. So I gotta get one of those like head shaver things I've seen people use. They're advertising them to me on Facebook now, but they're like, the good ones are like $100 or more. It's just like, fuck, man. Don't you have like a little $30 thing that'll just fucking do it? I don't need this fancy stainless steel device. Like, I guess I could learn to use a straight razor on my own head, but that seems sketchy. Okay, this, I mean, I'm not getting a lot of new notes, but I love how it smells, so I'm just sitting here sniffing it. Let's go ahead and taste it. I really like that. Man. Man, I like that a lot. Shit. It's like creamy and sweet. I get like kettle corn vibes. A light nuttiness, like almonds or pecans maybe. Long finish, longer finish than I expected. It lingers for a long time with like a gentle heat and like a Szechuan peppercorn, that numbing peppercorn. And just a hint of oak. On first blush, that could be the 8 or the 9. It's got to be the 8, because when I did my 8 video, I pointed out that the 8 finished so much longer than the 9. Let's taste it again. Yep, definitely kettle corn. Yeah, it goes caramel kettle corn, that sweet, like roasted almonds and pecans. It's definitely Heaven Hill. There's no fucking way that is the H. Taylor. No fucking way. It's got such a long finish on it for something that's not particularly oaky. I gotta believe that that's the 8 year. I mean, oh, and after, so that really shiny, I feel like that shininess, that almost metallic note was really a product of tasting it right after number 1, which I feel like is the 16 year. So you're going from the oldest to the youngest in the lineup. Well, maybe not the youngest. I don't know how old the H. Taylor single barrel is, but that huge jump initially made this thing smell just like, not new makey in the sense of raw, but that brightness was overwhelming. But now, I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, honey and caramel. Ooh, here we go. After tasting it a couple times and coming back on the nose, oh! We're okay. After, I can't hit this table the way I'm normally pretty aggressive with this table, but with these coins on top of these glasses, I can't be smacking the table like I normally do. After nosing it a couple times, tasting it a couple times, coming back with the nose, I'm finally starting to get like strawberry, like Special K with strawberries. I get a little bit of that grain note and then the fruity note. Maybe a cherry too. Man, this has to be the 8-year. I feel like all of those notes were in my 8-year review. I'd be pretty damn surprised if that wasn't the 8-year. I'll tell you that right now. Tell you that much right now. Okay. I'm going to move these glasses a little bit so that I'm less likely to break things. Less likely. That doesn't mean I won't. It just means I'm going to try to not. Oh, boy. Number 3. I will say, as a general rule, I'm a bigger fan of the nose on the old Fitz than I am the palate. I'm not sure why that is. I guess it's because the wheat brings a real sweet grain fruitiness to the nose, but that sweetness often doesn't translate to the palate in these old Fitz decanters. So they're not. Most of them are not particularly sweet compared to some of the other whiskey out there, at least on my palate. This one has a lot more of a cherry note than the number 2. Number 2 was like slightly blueberry, and then more significantly strawberry. It had maybe a hint of cherry. This is leaning into the cherry a lot more. This has got cherry cough syrup vibes. But it's still very bright and very sweet, and yeah, that berry note really stands up. I guess I also get like a green apple. This one is for sure the most fruit forward thus far. If you guys are sipping on a pour, let me know in the chat what you're sipping on. I'd love to hear it. Now I'm just dicking around. Oh yeah, cherry cough syrup. Here we go. Yeah. Yep. I also feel like I gave the cherry cough syrup note in that video. So I feel like this might be the 9. Let's taste it. That's gotta be the 9. It's super smooth, super mellow. I think in the video I said I liked the 9 better than the 8, but tonight I'm liking the 8 better than the 9, assuming my numbers are right. But it's just like... very light mouthfeel. I mean, maybe that's the 13. That could be the 13. It's got more oak in it than I expected from the 9. Mid-palate into the finish, there's a lot of oak, but the finish is very short. And a lot of those things are like notes I remember giving on the 9, so... It's gently oaky, but it's pretty subtle. Grain definitely shows up. It's very balanced pour. Oh, I feel like I liked the 9 more than that. Let me check number 2 again here real quick. Number 2 could be the 9. Number 3 is too oaky to be the 9. I think number 3 is the 13. 13 has been open a long time. I didn't particularly care for it. Shout out to Nate for accidentally letting me borrow that bottle. I'm going to say 3 is the 13. I hope it's not the one I own. Because I own the 14. And I remember liking the 14 more than I liked that one. Number 4. Okay. Now this has a kind of a distinctly different vibe to it in my mind. This one is a lot... Well, maybe it's not that distinctly different. It's just much more honeyed. A lot of the sweetness up to this point has been corn syrup and very citrus focused. This to me is very like clover honey. And I still get that nuttiness. I'm not sure what you missed, Nate. On number 1, I'm guessing 16. On number 2, it's either an 8 or a 9. And on number 3, it was the 13, I think. It could be the 9, but it was very flat. And I think I liked the 9 more than the 8. And because I think number 2 is the 8, I think number 3 wouldn't be the 9. Number 4, though, has a really nice nuttiness. Very sweet, slight oak. I mean, the nuttiness, the almond on this is the most prominent it's been on anything. This thing screams honey roasted almonds. Tony Two Toes, evening and congrats on the move. Thank you so much, Tony. Much appreciated, my man. I'm excited to get this new house in order. Oh, ow, fuck. And try not to break any more of my toes in the meantime. Speaking of Tony Two Toes, I'm about to be Kyle Three Toes if I break any more toes. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks, Nate. Like, subscribe. Join the Patreon. Patreon.com/TheDrinkPro. Shouldn't wink. Like I'm taking a picture. I should probably keep that up for longer. Nah. Patreon.com/TheDrinkPro. Yeah, this thing is just, it's one thing. It's fucking honey roasted almonds. I am not, Akeem. Everybody's asking where I'm moving. I'll say this, Southside Indianapolis. That's all I'll say for now. I'm going to get this house closed first. Then we'll talk. I mean, I'm looking for something else. Maybe I get like a hint of a cinnamon cake bread kind of vibe. But that, man... All right, let's taste this. The honey roasted almonds just takes over every time. Every time I try to find something different, it's honey roasted fucking almonds. Ooh. That's how I want Heaven Hill to fucking taste. Whatever number 4 is, that's how I want Heaven Hill to taste. It's sweet. It's caramel. It's nutty. It's got a slight oak. That's the balanced pour. That's the balanced pour. And going back to the nose, now I get a slight banana bread vibe. Slight honeysuckle, so the herbal start to show up a little bit. Yeah. Yep. That is how you fucking balance a Heaven Hill. Now I gotta guess which one I think I like the best. Well, if I think about what's in this lineup, my instinct is to guess it's the 14, because the 14 is one that I won in a raffle. But it's also the one that I remember being my favorite. It might not be, but that's what I remember happening. My mind is not the steel trap. I wish it was, but Do I know about a new whiskey spot downtown? I know about a lot of spots downtown, Akeem. Is there a particular spot you're thinking of? One of my favorite spots downtown is actually a cocktail lounge that's doesn't have a sign. It's speakeasy style, but they've got great spirits, including some really great whiskey. I'll show you it sometime if you haven't been. Yeah, this is just... this is what I want. This is what I want from Heaven Hill. That's what I want from Heaven Hill. Even sometimes it presents a little bit bitter sometimes. But I don't mind bitterness if it's like a piece of a puzzle. And that when you get the honey, you get the sweetness, you get a hint of caramel, you get a hint of vanilla extract, you get... not much fruitiness on the palate, which is usually my preference, is probably why I lean towards others besides Heaven Hill. But that sweet breadiness comes in, and then the nuts come in after that. Honey, cinnamon, almond. The finish is definitely that cinnamon sticks around. Now, the specialty shop that Dennis is opening on Saturday, Storied Company. I didn't know it was opening on Saturday. I don't know where it is. You should shoot me a message about that, Akeem, because I will be in town on Saturday afternoon into the evening. I won't be in town Saturday morning, but I'd love to know more about that. So hit me up. Yeah. I'm just going to say number 4 is 14. It just hits good. It just hits right. Let's go to number 5 now. Number 5, on the initial nosing, when I just went through really quick, back and forth, sweep style, number 5 was the one that I thought was the H. Taylor. I mean, this thing is sharp and sweet. It's only open Saturdays from 11 to 5 or by appointment. Well, if you don't like it as much, let me know, Nate. We'll figure something out. Well, I knew it was going to happen once. I was smelling it so hard that I got it in my mustache. It always happens once. Don't take it from him 2 middle fingers up. I'm going to take it from him. If he doesn't like it, I'm seeing him tomorrow. I'm getting that fucking whiskey. I mean, I'm having a hard time with this one because... my instinct is that it doesn't smell like Heaven Hill. It's very, I don't know. My mind's playing tricks on me now. Let's just taste this fucking thing. That's got to be the Taylor. That's got to be the Taylor. Rabbit Hole Derringer. It's a good thing to drink. Joe, got one waiting for you. Buy it. Buy it now. Go buy it. And if you don't like it, talk to me. I fucking really like the Michter's 10. I really like it. That's a lot lighter caramel sweetness. The mid palate is oaky with a lot of rye spice. I get a lot more fruit on the palate than I do from a lot of these others. and I don't have very much nuttiness. I almost get like a slight eucalyptus. The finish, there's sort of a ghost finish, like a ghost pepper, where it disappears to nothing, and you think it's gone, and then all of a sudden the finish comes back and gets you like little cinnamon Red Hots vibes. Now, after several tastes on the nose, I'm getting that cinnamon. The cinnamon is really predominant. And that's tricky for me because when we tasted them, the E.H. Taylor single barrel was the one that really stood out to me. Bourbon Baller's in the chat. What's up, Bourbon Baller? Yeah, when I tasted the 4 barrels at the actual tasting, I remember thinking this one was like sweet and light and fruity. And trying number 5 right now, I don't get that for me. Akeem, Michter's 10 is usually very good, but look out for price gouging. Absolutely true. It depends on what it's worth to you. I mean, I don't remember what MSRP is, like maybe $130 or something like that. I think that's what I paid for mine at least, but I'd pay more than that for it. I really like it. Yeah, that does not taste like what I remember. See, this is where it's going to fuck me up. This does not taste like what I remember that Colonel E.H. Taylor tasting like, but it doesn't taste like... I don't think it's Heaven Hill. Shit. Bourbon Baller's waiting to collect some debts. He's about to go out here and bust some kneecaps or some shit. MSRP $130. Thank you, Joe. Definitely worth $130. I would say, me personally, if I saw a Michter's 10 at $175, I would think long and hard about it. I'm not sure I would buy it. That's really funny. I just saw that Akeem in the chat. He said, last time I saw it, it was $230, which is too much. Tops for me would be $170. And I was just in the middle of saying that for me, $175, I'd really have to think about it, but $170, I would do it. That's what I was trying to get out. That's really funny. Bourbon Baller, I'm Colombian. We don't bust kneecaps. You just put bullets in heads? I don't know, man. I don't know what they do in Colombia. I've never been there. I only know how we deal with it here in the Midwest, which is be really passive-aggressive about it. Oh, man. Akeem, what up, Baller? You're drinking Hennessy, Richard, and Dr. Pepper. Bourbon Baller said, did you say you were drinking, Bourbon Baller? I thought he did, but I may have missed it. Joe got his for a little bit above that, not bad. Well, if you don't want it, Joe, hit me up. I want to know what Bourbon Baller's going to do to these people if he doesn't get the money from them. I'm hoping he's not going to bust kneecaps. Oh, god damn it, guys. That is so nice. Hennessy XO. That's solid. Solid pour. That is... Now, that's definitely fucking Heaven Hill. Number 6 is Heaven Hill all damn day. So, I'm going to eat those words probably. $15K debt, who knows? It's a lot of money. I mean, this has a very nice blueberry note to it. I get like blueberry crumble on top of a muffin. That's what I'm getting from 6. It's really nice. Very nice. Interesting. So, if I guess number 5 is the E.H. Taylor, let's just do that for now. Then on number 6, the only one I've got left, Tony Two Toes, busting kneecaps is my business. With a name like Tony Two Toes, you're goddamn right it's your business. But what I was saying was, based on what I've written down, the only thing I haven't picked a spot for is the 9-year. And God, that does not taste like 9-year to me. So, we're going to line them up again. I'm going to taste it one more time. I mean, definitely grain forward. Colombian necktie. There you go. Bone Doctor 1, 2, 3. He's quick. He's got it. He's got it. Nah, I forgot what I was doing. See, that's got more. That's got a lot more spice than I would expect from 9-year. Let's lay them all back out. Motherfucker, I thought I was going to get this right, but... Oh, shit. So, I'm going to do a first round, and then I'm going to do a correction round. So if I rethink my instinct, and my instinct's right, I want to know that. So... my first thoughts were number 1 was 16-year, number 2 was 8-year, 3 was 13, 4 was 14, 5 was EHT, which would leave 6 to be the 9-year, but there's no way 6 is the 9-year. So let's revisit number 2 and 3. Something is going on outside. Hey, what's going on?
What?
Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take down laundry.
Okay. We're all good. Hakeem says, keep drinking, man. I'm working on it. Man. 2 might be the 9. Uh-oh. 3 is super fruity. Super fruity. We're losing it, guys. We're losing it. All right, 4. 4 and 5 are too similar. I don't think 5 is the H. Taylor anymore. Three's got that berry note. I'm gonna leave everything the way it is, and I'll come back to that. Let me taste 1. Boy, my palate's blown now. Fuck. Try 6. I think 6 is the 16. I think 6 is the 16. I mean, that's going to make 1. Maybe 1's a 13. I'm going to say 6 is the 16. 1 is the 13. 3. I'm going to make that we'll just call that the 9. Okay, so my first round of guess, Enemy of Credulity, which is a great name, says water. And I was just about to say, I'm just trying to get a baseline set, so that's my first round of guessing. I'm going to go through each one again, water between each one, and we'll see what I get. He says, Old Fitz falls flat. A lot of releases for me, just meh. A little disappointed in Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill is not typically my favorite release, even though I have a whole bunch of their stuff. So I kind of agree. I mean, I think that, interestingly, for me, the best values in Heaven Hill are their lower dollar bottles. Now, granted, I haven't had a lot of... Get out of here. Granted, I haven't had a lot of their high-end bottles. I haven't had a lot of William Heaven Hill. The couple that I've had I really liked. But the sort of middle-high tier, which would be... I'm realizing as I'm saying it that you're the first one to get my name right. Most people don't see the word credulity very often. It's not a very common word. Anyway... As I was saying, I realized that was wrong. I like a lot of Heaven Hill's stuff, but they're hit or miss. That's what I'll say. I think that's true. And typically, for me, the Old Fitz decanters have been misses. Not all of them. But I would say more that I have tried have been misses than have not been misses. Okay, we're going to taste each one, water between, and really try to get some fucking numbers on the paper here. We're going to do this shit right. I want to get this right. I want to be able to fucking pick out the tailor. It should be easy. This man is not credible. No, I never said I was. Y'all are watching me. You should know better by now. If you've watched the show and you've seen me try to figure out what whiskey is what, then you know that I am not credible. It's as simple as that. I do my best. But when I've had, 4 pours in 90 minutes, so 60 minutes, not credible. Okay. Gonna find my center. Gonna bring the chi. Before I do this, let's talk about testicles for a minute. So when you're in the womb, your testicles are up inside of you, and some people's they stay up inside for a while, and some people's they'll drop down after a while. But that pathway where the testicles drop down doesn't just disappear. So you actually have your testicles are attached way up inside of your abdomen, and there are these little like pathways for your testicles to travel. Now, I apparently have torn a part of the attachment of my testicle to that pathway, and it hurts like a motherfucker. And there's nothing they can really do about it except do exploratory surgery to try to guess where it's torn, or they can inject silicone into my lower abdomen, and hopefully put support in the right place so that I'm not in pain all the time. I just had to get that off my chest. Because it hurts a lot. Anyway, now we are done with that brief testicular interlude. We're going to start drinking whiskey again. Oh, God, what am I doing? Oh. Okay, entertainment. Yeah, baby. Okay, drink of water. Get testicles off the mind. Start with number 1. Definitely Heaven Hill. I'm just going to start there. That's definitely Heaven Hill. Joe Brown, hell of a soapbox. Gotta do it. I gotta do it once a video at least. So that's definitely Heaven Hill. Yeah, I think you do. 2 middle fingers up. I think you do. I'm pretty sure you do. Your photo makes me think you do. All right. Definitely Heaven Hill. It's not the 8-year or the 9-year. So that narrows it down a lot. So we're just going to go that way. It's not the 8 or the 9. I'm pretty confident in that. So it could be 13. It could be 14. It could be 16. That cuts the field in half. So we'll start there. Clear the palate. Oh, no. Sorry about that. All right, number 2. Damn it. I mean, that tastes a lot like number 1. Two middle fingers up says he's my coworker. Why do you guys have the exact same profile picture, Bourbon Baller? I don't understand why that's the case. That's just strange to me, man. All right. So, well, shit. I'm sticking with the idea that number 2 is younger. Enemy of credulity. We are talking about personal taste is just subjective. The only credibility available is the actual portrayal of how the person feels about what they experienced. Deep stuff. But enemy of credulity. I think there's also, so the credibility available is the actual portrayal of how the person feels about what they experienced. But there's also a replicability. I mean, I don't know how deep we want to get into the philosophy of, like, reality here. I don't know if we want to go full Hume with this, but the idea that, like, assuming that the thing is constant, you're right, I can't tell you if it's good or bad for you. I can't tell you if it's sweet or salty or sour for you because your brain might work differently. But unless I've had some sort of significant effect, in the last couple of years, I should be able to pretty easily replicate, like, oh, this tastes the same over and over and over and over again. Now, there are other factors. Time of day matters. What you've eaten before matters. What you drink matters. There are a lot of things that will affect how you taste. And so if you don't replicate the settings exactly, then there is a good chance that you won't, that you will find slight differences between pours, even if you've had the exact same pour in the same glass in the same environment, if you eat something different beforehand, or you drink it or eat it at a different time. But, I do these kind of tastings in this environment, so Akeem says, I'm French and I don't if things exist. Yay. Fuck, guys. Let's okay, I'm gonna try 2 one more time. I'm almost done with it. This is the end of 2. I'm gonna stick with my initial guess of 8 or 9. Let's move to 3. Get a water break in here. Nate is taking advice from Kyrie Irving. Man. I think 3 is the E.H. Taylor. Nothing about that says Heaven Hill to me. Nothing. Not a damn thing. It's light. It's sweet. It's fruity. It's incredibly well balanced. It's got a lot of rye spice. It finishes with blueberry, which I really like, which is something I would do to pick out a barrel. I think this was the one I said had some strawberry notes in it. That's got to be the E.H. Taylor. That's got to be the E.H. Taylor. Number 4. Here we go. Wow, that's very nutty. Yeah, I stand by my I stand by my statement about that being like really ideal presentation of E.H. or Old Fitz, or really Heaven Hill in general. It's got that really nice blend of flavors that just hits right. I'm sticking with my original guess that that's the 14. Let me go back to number 1, because that means number 1 is either the 13 or the 16. Akeem says, I'm here all night to laugh about French existentialism. That's the real party. That and strippers. You know what the real party is talking to the strippers about French existentialism and watching them pretend to be interested with their half-glazed over 1,000-yard stares. That's where it's at. We're not going to get into the existence and essence debate. I'm not going that deep into existentialism tonight. Well, my initial guess was one was a 13. Well, my first guess was it was the 16. Then I changed it to the 13. Right now, the 13's feeling pretty good. If you're just joining us, I'm finishing up a 6-pour blind where I taste 5 different Old Fitzgerald decanters and 1 E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick, the Big Red Liquors store pick from 2020. That's just dropping in a lot of places here in 2021. I'd be like, are your kids even real? Akeem is philosophizing at the strip club, and I'm here for it. So the pours I've tried tonight are the E.H. Taylor 8-year, 9-year, 13-year, 14-year, and 16-year. With the E.H. Taylor. The Old Fitz. The Old Fitz 8-year, 9-year, 13-year, 14-year, and 16-year. And the E.H. Taylor single barrel store pick. Let's go to 5. I think the 5 might be the 9. Yeah, I'm going to say the 5 is the... Wait a minute. I killed the 2 already. Damn it. The 5 could be the 8 or the 9. I kind of feel like the 5 is the 8 and the 2 is the 9. Nate, he'll fucking do it, man. Nate's going to pay for Akeem to get a lap dance while he has this convo. Akeem will fucking do it. Sounds like Akeem needs to come out to Ohio with me tomorrow. Train's leaving at 6. Early morning. All right. Let's taste number 6. We'll see where we're at. Gut check. Yeah, so number 1 is much more peppery. It's much more vibrant. A lot of black pepper. And then number 6 just kind of oaky. So I'm going to say number 6 is 16. 1's 13. Do I think 5 is number 8 or number 9? Here we go. I'm going to switch it. This is different from what I put on my first run through. I'm going to say number 2 is 9 and number 5 is 8. So, my guesses. First time through, first one was 13, second was 8, third was 9, fourth was 14, fifth was E.H. Taylor, sixth was 16. Second time through, 1 was 13, 2 was 9, different, instead of the 8. Number 3 was E.H. Taylor instead of the 9. 4 was 14, same. 5 was the 8 instead of the E.H. Taylor, and 6 was 16. So 3 of them I kept the same. Let's see what the answers are. All right. So, number 1 was the Old Fitzgerald 13. I got that one right. So that's nice. I like getting things right. So number 1 was the 13. Number 2 was the 16. Wow, that really surprises me. In both of my tastings, I thought number 2 was young. It tasted very young. So the fact that it's the 16 really throws me off. I got a sneeze coming. Excuse me. Sorry about the mic. Yeah, so on the first tasting, I said number 2 is the 8 year. On the second tasting, I said number 2 is the 9 year. So, being the OF16, first off, I like the 9 year, so that means I like it. Oh, hold on, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with this right quick. Ugh. I know that's good content. Watch me blow my nose. Oh, man. It's something in there. So, very surprised by that. Number 2 being the 16 year. Because first time I said it was 8, second time I said it was 9. I mean, I liked it fine, but it did not drink as oaky as a 16 year. Number 3 was the E.H. Taylor. So, I'm glad I changed that. I got that one right. I figured out what I was doing wrong. Number 3 was the E.H. Taylor. So, got that right. Number 4 was the 9 year. Both times I thought number 4 was the 14. And both times I said the number 4 was what I thought E.H. Taylor... Or, I'm sorry, what I thought Old Fitzgerald should be. So, you know, Trevor's not in the chat tonight, but Trevor did not like the 9-year-old Fitzgerald. But for me, the Old Fitzgerald number 9, 9-year-old, really is like the prototypical Old Fitzgerald decanter. Like, that is what Heaven Hill should taste like to me. So I got that one wrong. I'm less surprised by that than I am by number 2 being the 16, because I really like the 9. I knew I liked the 14. I knew I liked them both, so of course I'll mix them up. Number 5 is the 14. The number 5 was tricky to me. I liked it, but I couldn't put my finger on it. First time I thought it was E.H. Taylor. Second time I said it was the 8 year. So that one just was tricky to me. Very tricky to me. And then number 6 was the fucking 8 year. And both times I thought it was the 16. That's so... There's something really interesting and valuable here. Because the flavor in number 6... I still got a little bit of number 6, which I thought was 16 both times, but it turns out it's number 8. Let me taste it, and we're going to talk about it. See, it's got a really oaky flavor. That's so weird to me. It's very sweet oak, but I wouldn't in a million years guess that that was 8 years old. Never. That 16 year was, it had an oakiness, it had a pepperiness, but it was much sweeter and brighter and lighter. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. That is a real quandary to me right there. Didn't do great. I got 2 of the 6. But I got the E.H. Taylor right. And that's what matters. But the 9 and 14 confusion, I'm not that surprised by. I really like the 9. I like the 9 more than I thought I did. And blinds keep proving that, usually. Not always. I've had 1 or 2 blinds where I did not care for it. But I think putting it up against all of these other... old Fitz decanters was a smart move because it really forced me to go like, hey, which old Fitz do you like better? Nate says, do you prefer the 8 or the 16? I prefer the 16. I haven't done a full review on the 16. Matter of fact, I will probably do a review of the 16 as my... maybe not this week, but maybe next week as my Patreon exclusive video. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Patreon.com/thedrinkpro. Every Friday I release a video exclusively for my patrons, and the full review of the Old Fitz 16 will be there. If you can construct a review from my notes tonight, but you can watch it straight through at the Patreon, and that's only $3 a month level. That's less than a well pour at a bar here in a relatively cheap market once a month. So $3 a month, patreon.com/thedrinkpro. Help me out. Come check out these cool videos that I'm making. Make sure I don't spill more whiskey and break more glasses. Phone 123, Phone Doctor 123 wants me to rank them. I'm taking off all these little numbers. Give me a second, and then I will rank them. But yeah, the fact that I thought the 16 was the 9 does tell me I like the 16. But the fact that I thought 6 was the 16 both times, and it turned out to be the 8, tells me that I prefer the 16 to the 8, because the 8 was fine. I liked it fine, but I preferred the 9 to the 8. And so just basic logic will tell you that, well, if I prefer the 9 to the 8, which I did in my video, and the what I thought was the 9, what was the 16 I thought was the 9, or I called the 9. You get it. You get how logic works. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm not making any sense. It's okay. Nate says, so time added some balance and complexity, it seems. Yeah, I would say time mellowed out these pours a great deal. Yeah, pretty much as a whole, I feel like the sort of sweet spot for complexity on these Taylors is the 9 year. The 13 year felt over oaked to me, which is why initially I said it was the 16 year. The 8 year felt way over oaked and very simplistic to me, but it was the 8 year. It wasn't particularly oaky. Maybe I was sort of I was mixing up oakiness and sort of a... Well, no, I was thinking about a different kind of oak. Like, think about Woodford double oaked. Like, the flavors of a double oaked Woodford. Like, that's very oaky, but it's not old oaky. I get that kind of young oakiness, if that makes sense, in number 6, which I thought was the 16 year, but it was in fact the 8 year. Number 2, I talked about how the nose and the mouth and the palate didn't align very well. I really liked the nose. It was very sweet. It was very fruity in a lot of ways. And then the palate was bitterer than I preferred. And that confused me a little bit. I thought maybe that bitterness was in the 8 year or the 9 year, but no, it was in the 16. So that bitter oak is showing up later. And so there's sort of a crescendo of complexity where you have your 8 year, which was number 5. Did I get that right? No, the 8 year was number 6, and it was super sort of one-noted. And then the 9 year was sort of a sweet spot for me. And the 13 year fell a little over-oaked. The 14 year, I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It was more mellowed than anything. And then the 16 year, I think, was just mellowed and bitter. So I would actually say that the complexity sometime adds complexity, but then more time adds balance. And sometimes balance can be a bad thing. It's like EQing a mix, right? If you make everything the same volume, it's EQ'd, but it's going to sound terrible. All right. Well, now that I've tried 5 different Old Fitz pours, we're going to just kind of YOLO this for a minute. This is a 24-year-old Heaven Hill. I do not have very much of this left. As you can see, it's getting... I only bought half of a bottle of this and paid way too much for it. I mean, it was still retail, but it felt like way too much. So I'm pretty stingy with it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really trying this because I wanted to sort of like be a proof of concept. And honestly, to me, of all the things I've tasted tonight thus far, this 24-year-old Heaven Hill tastes the most like the 8 year. It's mellow, it's one-noted, and the one note is oak. I mean, I think there's a lot of complexity in there that you could dig out and sort through, but it's so goddamn subtle. It's so quiet. It's just not showing up very prominently at all. Enemy of Credulity says, compression in music sucks. Yeah, it can cause real problems. I think compression is a very powerful tool. I think compression can make a big difference and make music sound better. But you have to know how to use it. I have not given a ranking, Nate. I think the E.H. Taylor was my favorite. I think my second favorite was... I think the E.H. Taylor was my favorite. I think my second favorite was the 9 year. Third favorite was the 14. So E.H. Taylor, 9 year, 14 year, 16 year, 8 year, 13 year. The 13 was my least favorite. It may between the 8 year and the 13 year, they like rotate places for which one was my least favorite. Well, I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I've got time to do one more pour, I think, and then I'm going to call tonight earlier than I normally do on these streams, but tomorrow's going to be a fucking hell of a day. So, trying to think what I should do as my next pour, aka my last pour. I think after doing all these old Fitzgerald decanters and then tasting the 22-year-old Heaven Hill, 24-year-old Heaven Hill, I think my next move has got to be... Oh, what should I do? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the 18-year. I'm going to do the 18-year single barrel E.H. Taylor. Now, this one is not 100 proof. This is 40. This is 90 proof, not 100 proof. It's 45% alcohol instead of 50. 18 years old, so, I should also say that the single cask 24-year-old is 47.4% alcohol, which is cask strength. They age it half of the time in America, half the time in Scotland. So, but this E.H. Taylor, Elijah Craig 18 year, it's 45% alcohol, bottled 427.20. Now, to me, this is more balanced than the old Fitzgerald 16 year. Which isn't necessarily a good thing. I thought the 16 year was better than I expected it to be. It had more bitter oak though than this 18 year. Partly I think because, of the proof. I think proofing it down is a smart move for some of these products. And the 18 year Elijah Craig makes sense to be proofed down. Some people will fight me on that. Let them. Yeah, I think if you put that into a blind, I wouldn't rank it very high. When I have that 18-year-old Elijah Craig, it's usually early in the night. And I think part of the reason is it's a low proofer, so it stands up really well to nothingness. If you start the night with a low proofer like that, you can catch all the complexities and all the nuance and all the subtlety. When you've had 6-7 pours, that gets lost. And you need things that are going to be powerful and potent and expressive and aggressive and will not let you ignore them. So, although it's not good advice for avoiding drunkenness, I would say that the later it gets, the more you need to go with high-proof, aggressive pours in terms of your profile. You'll be able to taste them better than something like this. This is just too subtle for having had 6 pours already and then trying to taste this Elijah Craig. It's not going to work. So, it tastes fine. It tastes good. But I tasted this bottle many times with nothing else prior. And there is so much complexity that's lost on it because it's low proof and it's older. All I'm really getting is this sort of nice, soft sweetness and then dry oak. One of the reasons I really liked this blind and I wanted to do this blind was that everything was 100 proof. Everything was 50% alcohol, just the age, and then the wild card distillery difference. And that kind of takes away that factor that I think makes this so hard to follow up these 100 proofers. All right, everybody. This is going to be a shorter stream than normal. Sorry about that. I got a lot to do tomorrow. I got a lot to do for the next couple of days, but we will have more streams every Thursday, usually 8 o'clock tonight. I went a little bit later because I was busy. We always have videos on Monday or Tuesday. I try to make it Monday, but it's been more Tuesday than anything lately. If you are a member of the Patreon, there will be new videos every Friday or Saturday. Again, I'm always a little bit late, but I always make the content. So patreon.com/thedrinkpro, exclusive videos every Friday or Saturday. You'll have exclusive monthly live streams. We just had one of those not too long ago with a giveaway. Tony Ramsey, if he's still in the chat, got some really cool pours coming his way. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You all keep drinking like professionals.